Irish Guy, and Liverpool fans, how much do you feel like biting off your own face? Lads, I'm heavily confused, which doesn't say much because honestly, I'm not even clever enough to follow the plot of Toy Story 4, but I thought that Liverpool were back. I thought this team had returned and were now revitalised again under Jurgen Klopp, beating both Everton and Newcastle, pocketing clean sheets along the way. Surely this is a glorious return to the big time. Football's answer to Brendan Fraser. You know, the guy who was George of the Jungle in 1994 and then had to wait nearly 30 years to win an award for stuffing his face with chicken wings and pizza for 90 minutes. Oh, wait, actually, wasn't he in The Mummy? Well, right now, I'm guessing that Liverpool fans are begging for their money. After watching that, I'm sorry, but to be 2-0 up against Real Madrid on a European night, Thibaut Courtois, the man whose heroics ruined your Champions League final last May, before puffing his chest out and demanding that more respect be put on his name, shocking the fact that he's a former Chelsea goalkeeper, and I'm pretty sure Liverpool fans like him the same way a farmer would like the local weirdo who keeps bothering his pigs. I'm sorry, but when the ball trickles off Courtois' knee for Mo Salah to score, listen, I know Courtois went through a phase at Stamford Bridge of being addicted to self-nutmegs, but this horrible error is actually hugely uncharacteristic for a world-class goalie like himself. It's a stupid mistake you might expect from Adam Bogda or some fat child shoved in goal for the local under-12 team. You know, the type of kid whose pre-match meal probably just popcorn and Pepsi. But to twin this mistake with Courtois, no, I'm sorry, it's like seeing Kurt Zuma kiss a cat. It just doesn't look right. But just pause that moment for Liverpool fans. That was the moment their night peaked. But this level of Liverpool defending is a disgrace. This season, Liverpool have lost 4-1 away at Napoli and 5-2 at home to Real Madrid. I'm gonna say it now. Those are Liverpool's two most embarrassing Champions League nights since 2014 when they got beat away at Basel. Yeah, that was 9 years ago. Liverpool had Javi Manquillo at right back. Mario Balotelli was up front. Ricky Lambert came off the bench. Honestly, last night he was probably still eating pancakes at 3 a.m. That game was a long time ago. Although to be fair, that Champions League embarrassment, it was still a midfield battle between Jordan Henderson and Granit Xhaka. Basel had Fabian Schär at the back. So it wasn't a terrible Basel team. And it also wasn't a capitulation. Before this season, we had not seen Liverpool collapse like this in the Champions League since losing 4-2 at Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. Before that was a 3-0 defeat at Dinamo Tbilisi in 1980. Yeah, Nottingham Forest won that competition that season. Liverpool as a club pride themselves on amazing European nights. They never implode. But this season, they've now done it twice. I'm beginning to think that the Gary Neville Overlap podcast is cursed. In May 2021, Harry Kane told Neville over a round of golf that he might have to leave Tottenham if the right bid came in, and that Daniel Levy would probably accept 100 million quid. No, a few weeks later, and Tottenham block his move to Man City after a bid of 100 million quid. I mean, Roy Keane walked his dog with Gary in August 2021, talking about his desire to get back into management. 6 months later, he fails a job interview at Sunderland in League One. In May 2022, Gary Neville publicly asked Gerrard Piqué when he's going to propose to Shakira. Yeah, no wonder he looked nervous in the video. He probably already had Tinder downloaded on his phone. And in October 2022, Virgil van Dijk literally laughs about the prospect of peak Jamie Carragher being good enough to get into Liverpool's current squad. I'm sorry, is this for real? This guy seemed to think that
football has moved on from the likes of Carragher.
Essentially pretending that Jamie C is just football's answer to Fred Flintstone in football shorts. I'm sorry, but Carragher is a literal European champion. To now pretend that he wouldn't even displace Joe Gomez in the squad. How many more times is that ex-Charlton man going to fluff his lines before everyone realises that he's an injury-riddled snowcone who belongs at a team like Burnley next season? The guy is 25 years old and is going to die with less England caps than Tom Cleverley, and there is a reason for that. He's got the concentration levels of a squirrel with ADHD. This is a Liverpool centre-half who's got one more cap than Kieran Gibbs. Does that not tell you something? Here he is tasked with marking Karim Benzema. Sure, the man is a Ballon d'Or winner, officially the best player in the world, so sure, you could probably excuse Gomez for not sleeping the night before. The guy was probably so nervous on the morning of the match, he probably accidentally poured Cocoa Pops for his dog whilst he ate dog food with a spoon. Sure, his head was probably all over the place, but I don't care. That's just not good enough. Van Dijk has been a brilliant Liverpool signing. This man is an absolute world-class centre-half, but people are calling this guy the greatest Premier League centre-back of all time. Is this a joke? Rio Ferdinand put himself as #1 best defender of all time, and he put Van Dijk second behind him. Just no. Peak Rio was world class, but I can't be the only one who remembers sloppy Ferdinand from 2005 when he was literally being outplayed by his brother in the Premier League. Honestly, twice that season, Blackburn Rovers made Rio look like a drunken penguin stumbling at the beach. Terry won 5 Premier League titles in his career as a captain. Don't you dare mention him in the same breath as Van Dijk. This guy was just playing for Southampton at 26. He's had 2.5 world-class seasons in a Liverpool shirt, yes. But I mean, he hasn't been the same since Jordan Pickford snapped him like a Twix. Even 2 weeks before that match, he was part of a backline which conceded 7 at Villa Park. Honestly, Ollie Watkins made it look like Titus Bramble with dreads. He's had 2.5 seasons of brilliance. Is that really enough to rank him as a centre-back GOAT? When it comes to Premier League legacy, I think there's an argument to be made that Sol Campbell has a more impressive body of work than Van Dijk. And really, he also played for a team on the south coast in Portsmouth, but not at 26. I mean, Juventus were queuing up to sign him at 32, and yeah, he chose to go and win the FA Cup with Portsmouth instead. I would honestly rank Campbell above Van Dijk. I mean, why not? He was an Arsenal invincible. I mean, 2.5 world-class seasons. Paolo Maldini was out there being world-class at AC Milan for nearly 30 years. I mean, come on! In the second half against Real Madrid, Van Dijk, showing all the leadership of a demented frog, he was like a clumsy oaf falling over his own feet. Honestly, lads, I'm gonna say this. When it comes down to Premier League centre-backs, I will have Sol Campbell above Van Dijk. Tell me I'm wrong. He won 2 Premier Leagues and 4 FA Cups. He even won something with Spurs. And honestly, if Arsenal had just held out for 15 more minutes, Sol Campbell would have scored the winner in a Champions League final. But lads, let's put some respect on Real Madrid. Imagine being 2-0 down on a European night away at Anfield. The fans are bouncing, your goalkeeper has just made himself a meme, and David Alaba has just limped off the pitch. Factor in the fact that Carlo Ancelotti is a former Everton coach and a guy who also gave Liverpool one of the worst ever nights by helping AC Milan win the Champions League 16 years ago, and there's not much love lost here. You can only imagine that for much of the first half, he probably had fat scousers calling him an elderly fraud, just the Italian Ian Holloway. But to keep your head and to storm back and score 5, and lads, Luka Modric is a monster. The man is nearly 38 years old, and I'm gonna say it, he's better than Liverpool's entire midfield combined. To think he was facing off against Jordan Henderson. This was a midfield battle we probably saw in Match of the Day back in 2008 between Sunderland and Spurs. But while Henderson is beginning to look his age, and in the second half was wheezing about the pitch like a Toy Story penguin, Modric is just timeless. This guy was also placed in midfield battle against Stefan Bajcetic. Yeah, Modric is old enough to be his dad. Modric was literally playing for Dinamo Zagreb's first team before Bajcetic was born. But to be so peerless in possession, when we think about mental strength, lads, Modric has literally been voted biggest flop in Spain back in 2013 after a £30 million move from Tottenham. Alex Song flopped to Barcelona, never recovered, and just went on to fail at West Ham. He's now 35 and playing in Digi Booty. But Modric, to bounce back and win 5 Champions Leagues? Considering Real Madrid is a shop largely based on superficial image, I'm guessing that the sight of Modric, someone who looks like a middle-aged mum, that was why Madrid fans initially got sick in their mouth. They wanted a ready-made, stylish midfield superstar, like a Paul Pogba, not someone who's just playing in midfield with Scott Parker. But lads, to put it in context just how good he is, during the match last night, in my head, I thought,
I wonder what a Real Madrid versus Liverpool combined 11 would look like over the last 20 years.
Right, okay. The midfield 3. Casemiro is the deep line destroyer in midfield. But the 2 number 8s, Zinedine Zidane, sure, and then I actually think that Modric's entire body of work absolutely dwarfs that of Stevie G. I know they're different players. Gerrard was a Roy of the Rovers box-to-box workhorse, but I genuinely believe that Modric is the better player. Sure, Gerrard's got the YouTube highlights reel. He was a marketing trump card, but Modric, despite looking about as fashionable or enticing as buttered dog vomit, yeah, he looks like a homeless woman begging for money for the bus. He looks like a teabag off Prison Break had a hair transplant, but I genuinely believe he keeps Gerrard out of the team. Oh, by the way, a front 3 of Luis Suarez and the 2 Ronaldos. Although again, there is a shout that Benzema should be in there ahead of R9. Maybe. But again, he's another one which makes no sense. This guy joined Madrid from Lyon in 2009. Arriving from the Farmers French League, sure, he was an exciting 21-year-old. But I mean, his debut season was just 8 league goals in Spain. Surely he's just another Gonzalo Higuain. He'd hang around for 3 years before spending his late 20s just munching burgers at Galatasaray. No. If it weren't for Cristiano Ronaldo, this man would be Real Madrid's record goal scorer with a statue outside the Bernabeu to still be there 14 years later. Just wow. Lads, this guy scored 5 league goals in 32 games during the 17-18 season. He looked like a burnt out teddy bear who'd soon be sold to West Ham. So the fact he has since scored a further 149 goals for Real Madrid in just 4.5 years, since that moment where he looked like he was going to be sold to West Ham, he's only scored 50 goals less than Harry Kane's entire total for Tottenham. He's only got 18 goals this season. He turns 36 in December. I'm gonna say it. Forget Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Forget Cristiano Ronaldo. If Benzema is still playing like this in a year, he'll be the best 26-year-old footballer I've ever seen. But yeah, Liverpool are a mess. What will hurt Liverpool most is that the Champions League final is in Istanbul. That's their stadium. They own it. On European nights, Istanbul is just Liverpool's. Last May, Jurgen Klopp told Liverpool fans to start booking their tickets for this season's final. Yeah, it's now the 22nd of February, and Klopp is admitting you're as good as out. Liverpool fans are going to have to watch another club lift a Champions League trophy in Istanbul, which honestly will be painful. It'll probably feel like you've just had a bowling ball shoved down your throat. Honestly, it's just horrible. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Liverpool Real Madrid game. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.